How they shine.
That's a hymnal you humming right there.
Water. This is like a bridge. All right, here we go. 24 seconds. Hello, everybody. It is a Transformation Tuesday. Good to have you in our company as always. I did my endeavor best. Of course, people like Harrison Thompson definitely locked in sessions right now, trying to help couples throughout the length and breadth of this country. So he's unavailable. Um, and I was to reach out to Mario. I can't tell y'all no lie, but don't worry, more time still. All right,
Yeah.
I can make it happen. So we just gonna trash some more stuff out, and then I can bring somebody one or two in for next week. Okay, give us some time. Okay, I'm going to send you what she needs. Release you. The time is 4 o'clock when the nation starts to free the mind, free the mind. Take all that it shows on the airwaves, not like free mind. With every dial, you will find not like free mind. From the ghetto to the highways, hustlers to the college, from the pews to parliament, all the freedom I got to freedom. I got to freedom. I can't breathe. Release you. It's about that time. Gotta remember. 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 Star 106 hits. Happy Tuesday, everybody, and welcome to another Transformation Tuesday. Of course, here's truly the Natural Empress in position to help you free your mind. All right. And of course, today's show is always powered by KFC. Thank you to Cleveland Clinic, Pinder Tile, and Muffler World. The Fresh Market has got us this hour as well as fabulous Ronnie's Hair Restoration Clinic. I got to say thank you to the folks at Lightborn Trading providing Gerber pouches as well as the Nestle Nestum Selects. All right. Good afternoon to everybody locked and loaded. Good to have you. 106.5 on the FM band. Thank you to everybody locked and loaded. Channel 976 on cable, as well as our Facebook following. Thank you on Star 106 and Natural Empress on Facebook. All right. So I have on my virtual boxing gloves. I'm ready for Coach Ricardo Miller today. I'm locked and loaded. I am fully equipped with ammunition, and I'm ready to roll as we continue our series on why humans cheat. All
Yeah.
right, so we're going to take it from each standpoint. I think we are going to just extend our conversation from last week where it comes to the men. So, for all of you that are just joining us for the first time for this series, don't think that for 1 second that women don't do it too, because I know I'm going to get that text. Oh, well, women is do it too.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. So, good afternoon to you, Coach. You ready to roll?
I am ready to roll, Empress. And listen, I've been doing my homework in preparation for the talk on why women cheat. But today I am locked and loaded. on why men cheat, because I went ahead and got about 7 or 8 fresh points to bring to the table about guys.
All right, so I wonder if I should play my Rocky Balboa music, so we can get pumped and ready, because you say some things sometimes like last week that you got me ready to throw an uppercut. You know what I mean? So let's do this.
The reality of it is, Empress, for your listeners, I just want them to know the point here is to remove the whole taboo subject matter and understand these conversations are healthy and very necessary for
Sure.
for
For growth.
individuals to build, to build from. So please note that this is not a bash. Neither is this we're trying to simply reveal, but we're trying to help. And so that's what it's all about. So I'm going to dive right into them. I have a list of basic ones, and then I went into just really practical truths. Because here's the deal: for the woman who's dealing with a guy who's a cheater, or women who are concerned about men who are cheaters, I believe that it is important that you have a conversation about this. And then if you reveal you have a guy who is struggling with this, you need to look in to see what's going on. And so I want to talk about that too, Empress, because remember last time, I think some people may have felt as though we're revealing the problem without giving an understanding
Solution.
as to how to go about addressing some of this. So let me give you a few reasons why I have here that men cheat. Number one, men cheat due to lack of maturity. A lot of people don't think about this, but lack of maturity. There are some guys who they just now figured out that they have something other women want, and they already got the ring, or they have already got a commitment, but they didn't realize all in school they ain't had no mature structure and understanding about women, Empress. They lived a while, went off to college, and was still a little slow. Committed to this girl, but now they start to come into themselves, and they still haven't developed a level of maturity to know who they are, and they're inclined to want to just go for more. When you're committed to a girl, but now you're just starting to figure out you got something a lot of other girls want. And so for lack of
Sure.
maturity to say, I've already had my share of co-mingling and mingling and nightlife and all that stuff, lack of maturity, that's number one. Number two, men cheat if they have a sexual addiction. A lot of women,
That's what you call it, an addiction.
uh, Empress, there is something called sexual addiction.
Sure. But
Okay,
everybody don't have a sexual addiction.
everybody doesn't, but I'm talking about the woman who is now dealing with a guy who has an addiction. I'm talking about an addiction to the point where you now didn't realize you thought 2 or 3 times a week was sufficient. This guy needs it once a day. This guy needs it twice a day sometimes. And to marry someone with sex addiction is to be bound to someone who is going to commit adultery, somebody who is going to go outside of the marriage, because you can't meet the demand of that person's sexual needs. They have an addiction, and there's help available for somebody who has a sexual addiction.
Yeah, but I want you, in all of what you say, remember, we're home. Okay. I
Yeah.
want you to think like a
Yeah.
behemoth. Okay. How many people do you know on a given Tuesday is going to walk their husband, or a man walks into a doctor's office to be truly and medically and professionally diagnosed?
We don't have a lot of people that commonly would come out and say that was my case. However, Empress, it is conversations like this that is causing people to realize, oh, see, watch this, Empress. We said we're going to do a talk on this. It's not that he don't love you. It's that you can't meet his sexual needs. You can't meet sufficiently his sexual needs. And so he has a problem beyond your loving affection, wanting to live life with him for the rest of your life. He wants to be with you for the rest of your life. But it's the same thing with the dude who got a gambling addiction, Empress. The fella got paid. He know mortgage got to get paid. He know the kid's school fee got to get paid. But he still go ahead and gamble. You say, Lord Jesus, you know you can't love your children. You can't love me when you go and spend your money and gamble. The man still love you and love the kids, but he has an addiction. It's the same. Now, here's the deal. Even from a religious standpoint, I'm a pastor. We have never even considered the thought that there's we call it a sexual devil. Okay? We say that's a demon. And most of these pastors haven't been taught how to deliver anything or anyone not mention how to help someone get through this. So now, if he can't keep his pants up, miss, leave him. That's what you're telling the woman. But that don't mean the guy don't love her. The guy just has a need bigger than what she is able to handle, and he is now revealing that he can't handle it.
Okay, so in that respect, as a pastor, and I want you to talk not as coach, but
Yeah.
as a pastor, how do you remedy that situation? What do you tell them?
You need help. Number one, I think all pastors, as including myself, should pray for those who come before them in pursuit for counseling. But there comes a time, every professional pastor who got some kind of brains knows that there is a level of need within that person they're counseling where they says, hey, this is beyond my clerical expertise. You're going to need to go see a therapist. You're going to need to go see a licensed counselor. If a pastor is unprepared to say that, that's not a good pastor.
Say it again.
If Empress, if you cannot go to your pastor, reveal where you are, and that pastor is prepared to say, my skill set doesn't meet the demands of your needs, where I'm highly suggesting that you go and see a therapist, you go and see a professional. Someone with a sexual addiction can get help. There is a remedy to assist them in suppressing and pulling back their level of sexual drive because it's not normal. Now, there are some guys who say, well, I'm just a bedroom bully. I can do it 3 times a day. I can do it or every day for the week. You got a sex addiction issue. And the woman who commit to you for life is going to cry a lot because she is wondering why she ain't enough. No one is enough for a person who has sexual addiction. And that has to become a conversation that brought to the table. Now, I know we got people watching and listening on Facebook. If you agree with me, put it in the comment because we got to bring this to the table. What do you do when your life partner has been now revealed to be someone? You know how many people, Empress, I used to be on Soldier Road, right? When they smoking a little joint, right? They smoking a fellow, every fella thought they had a control on the joint. Oh man, I could quit whenever I want. Okay? As soon as I get married, I gonna go straight. As soon as I get married, I can go straight. But then you get married and you find out now that your need is bigger than the commitment that you gave through that of an addiction. You have an addiction and you thought you had mastery over your addiction, but you can't quit. Okay? You can't quit because you have an addiction. It's a stronghold and you need help. That's number 2, Empress. That's just number 2.
We ain't even
Okay.
reached nowhere. But hold the horse, Charlie. All right. Um, for the person that has somebody who has an addiction, right? You made a comment that the fact that they have stepped out doesn't mean that they don't love them. So is honesty still the best policy? Is that person to go and tell their significant other that, listen, you can't satisfy my needs at this point, and this is why there is Sally, Sue, Jane, and Mary.
Empress, oftentimes it's not a matter of can they go and tell. 2, am I aware of my deficiencies or addiction to the point where I realize I have an addiction? That's on the guy's side. Number 2, am I mature enough and understand that there is a difference between sexual engagement and love? Okay? Please note that a person can, especially a man can have sex with a woman all day, every week, every month, and not love that woman. Okay? Men men do not automatically connect love and sex. Okay, so if a woman has developed the understanding, I know my man loves me. I know my man wants to provide for me. I know my man will protect me. I know he will never leave me. But this joker can't keep his zip up. Okay? He can't keep, and I'm trying. I'm giving him it 4 times a week. I'm giving him, but listen, Lord Jesus, I'm tired. I'm a woman who got 3 kids. I got a job, and I'm trying to go back to school. And every time I reach home, he needs more. And so here's the deal. In addition to not can meet his need at the highest level, Even for the woman who tried to open her leg and give him whenever he wants it, she gets lazy in giving it. So now it's not only the guy for the addiction factor, it is the energy. So so
and and the and obviously the enjoyment.
it's the enjoyment. So if the energy now, help me to understand. I'm trying to help you, Chelsea. Right? So it's one thing. It's one thing to say, okay, I give it to him whenever he say he want it. But you ain't giving it to him like the girl who's only giving it to him twice a week over at this house, and the girl who's giving it twice at this house, and so you got 7 women giving it to him in 1 week because he has an addiction. He has an addiction. And so how do you have a conversation about that? You could decide, hey, I will never talk with a man who has sexual addiction. I don't want him. Or if a woman decides that, she needs to walk away. But then there are some women who realize the guy truly loved me. And here's what has happened in times past, Empress. You know what has happened in times past for men who have sexual addiction and can't keep their zip up? A lot of women, they found out that, listen, he's doing everything right but that. So they turn a blind eye to it. You know how many women in the Bahamas, I'm talking with culture, they turn a blind eye to it because they realize, Lord Jesus, I can't keep up with his drive. You know what? Just don't bring home nothing, okay? Just don't bring home nothing, and finish take care of what you're taking care of. And everybody in the area knows this dude.
And the church. Don't forget the church.
And the church know this dude is all over the place. But who is talking sexual addiction? I've driven in Dallas here and I've seen signs struggling with sexual addiction. Call this number. Where would a sign like that show itself up in the Bahamas?
Not here. Not here, bro. Not here.
Okay. But here's the deal. Look at our population. It has to be a problem, Empress. Sexual addiction is a real issue. But if it's never introduced to the table to help people, we're going to have all of these relationships. And look at what we have moved to instead of addressing sexual addiction. Guess what we turn to? Sweethearting is a passport. Sweethearting is just what we do. That's as a culture of Bahamian men. That's what we do. No, that ain't what we do. We have not addressed the root issues. We've not addressed.
Yeah, you're absolutely right with that. But I would also say that, not all of the persons who decide to step out have an addiction, right?
Correct.
So, you know what? Let's take a quick break on this. When we come back, you know what it is? It's a Transformation Tuesday right here on the Star.
World. Cleveland Clinic is recognized.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hey, I totally agree.
Too prideful. So, you know what? All my bills paid. I don't have to wake. So, you know what? He just need not bring nothing home because I ain't into that. Every night, he putting mileage on my no. I lie.
I got you. I totally agree. But here's the deal.
Hold on. The wicked Islam flipping off the nightstand and chandelier ain't enough. Lord, what a time. What a time. What a time. Bahamian men don't. Jamal, you have a right to put your face under this shirt. You have a right to put your face under the shirt. Okay, I have to listen to that after. I'd still get it before the end of the day. All right. Are we only on number 2?
Hey, I'm gonna work this though. And let me tell you something. This is something else, Empress.
Empress to me, AIDS and HIV. I'm sorry, I cannot put my life in jeopardy. You know how many women's lives are in jeopardy without them even knowing, though, Chelsea? That's the scary part. Here we go. Star 106 hits. It's a Transformation Tuesday, and boy, time has just been rolling. We're only at number 2, all right? And I got this comment here that says, Empress, to me, HIV, AIDS, is real, and I'm sorry, I cannot put my life in jeopardy. Now, here's the thing. What she's talking about is being receptive towards the man who's going to be truthful and upfront and say, listen, this is the deal. But the truth of the matter is, and the reality is, there's so many women who are in jeopardy at all times because there are men out there who can cover their tracks very, very well, and you just don't know until you know.
I totally agree with you, Empress. However, I don't want to go to the woman's side of the situation because I have a real life story where, as a pastor, had to counsel a couple through that of realizing the wife had a sexual addiction, where she had it so bad, Empress, she was paying to have extra. Okay. And in their sit down time, the guy thought at the initial break it was very impressive that she had a 5, 6 day type of appetite. And he felt it was a little strong for him, but he felt as though who would turn down 5, 6 days appetite, not to realize that she had more than a 5, 6 days appetite. And it was an addiction at the highest level. And she got help eventually. But once again, I thought it was the worst marital situation I ever saw someone have to go through to meet the meet up with the reality that your wife has a sexual addiction.
Yeah.
Well, it's
I
simple.
had somebody on the show a couple months ago, I think before the end of the year, last year. The wife had an addiction, was a virgin, husband was a virgin, and she just turned up. She had
Yeah,
an addiction. Um, yeah, yeah, it's
yeah,
real. It's
yeah.
real.
It is real. So that's why I'm saying one. It's not only about the HIV and AIDS that is real. Go ahead.
Teacher, the next thing I want to talk about, and the lady who came on the show, the couple, they came on the show under disguise, but they mentioned the fact that a lot of people don't take into consideration the meshing and the collaboration of spirits and souls. The
Yep.
fact that you give yourself to so many different people, you're inviting, different spirits,
Yep. Yep.
so to speak, into your relationship. What saith you on that?
Totally agree. And that's the light end of you not thinking about the damaging internal effect of having a sexual relations with someone outside of your life's partner. And a lot of people don't think about that level of depth. But Empress, we're talking about why men cheat, and there are multiple reasons, but I want to bring to the forefront that not only is there are spirits that is real and is connected to individuals and mess them up at a deeper level, but there are several reasons why men cheat. And so when you are in a relationship, you gotta have a conversation, because you can have someone who loves you, but someone who is struggling with something beyond you. Let me say that again. You could have someone who loves you, but someone who is struggling with something beyond you. And if you don't learn how to have a healthy conversation, okay? If you don't learn how to dive deep, and I know as a culture, as a society, we
I
have to
was
be.
just about to say.
I know. As a society, but Empress, it's conversations like this. I'm telling you, the more we have Bahamian men, Bahamian women who are comfortable opening themselves up and revealing the truth, the professionals who know the right way to express it, and the people who have the experience of having overcome it, we need those to come forward clean. Empress, a lot of people are celebrating, and please don't get me wrong, I'm not marriage bashing, because I had a
You're
divorce
married.
at 18 years. But there are a lot of people, when you hear them say they're celebrating 50 years, they don't talk about what happened in them first 10 years. Okay? You don't talk about the separation in the 15 to 20 year, but you did make it through the difficulties of your 25th year. You eventually made it to 50 years, and all you telling people is you can make it, but you didn't tell them how you had to get pills to suppress your sexual needs. You didn't talk about how you went off to contract and had your little boo in Florida, but you commit, and now you're celebrating 50 years, and you want to just say, we're not being clean on Empress. We're not being honest. You know how many people are living in two different bedrooms
But they're
because of,
celebrating 50 years.
and they're celebrating 50 years and they don't even live in the same house. Some of them don't live in the same house. Some of them don't. Oh Lord, let's go to the points, Empress. Let's go to the point. Watch this. Watch this. Men cheat when they are made to feel inadequate. That's a different one.
Okay, hold on, because to me that doesn't suffice. All right.
But it's
Why
a
say
it's a
that? No,
reason.
why I say that is, if it is that you feel inadequate, she doesn't make you feel like you're needed, wanted, valued, whatever word you want to use at this point, right? Again, everything that we are about to talk to or have already discussed requires a simple thing, and that is the conversation.
I told all of these, a
All.
conversation can help. But Empress, you will be amazed. Not because a person has a degree, not because a person makes good money, not because a person is beautiful or handsome, not because we've called them, that's a manager or a business owner. That means that they have the skill to communicate and obviously the best of adults have ruined children who embarrass them off because everybody doesn't automatically have the skill to raise children. Well, equally so, everybody doesn't have the skill to equally communicate in a way to address all of the issues that a marriage or relationship will come up. And
Right.
that's why we have to get comfortable talking about this. Let's go to another one. Men need their ego stroke. A lot of women aren't prepared to stroke the man's ego. And here's the deal, Empress. When you meet a guy, a lot of times when a woman meets a guy, they stroke their ego initially. Okay? That's to get the guy. They stroke the guy's ego initially. Then once you get him, you start stroking his ego. You start encouraging him. You start complimenting him. You start rubbing his head. Okay? And now what's this? Susie May on the job. What's this? She starts complimenting and fitting in. You can't hear me?
Yeah, good, you're good. I
Okay,
listen.
she now, Susie May on the job is stroking his ego, and he has a need to be stroked. Okay, now if
Hold
you
up,
end up with,
Clarence Carter. Hold up, Clarence. Hold on, because you laughing or you be
if
stroking.
if you end
I
up with
need
a
you to say
man
that
who
again.
has an ego that needs to be stroked, and you stop stroking his ego, he gonna find somewhere for his ego to be stroked. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying it's real.
So you're saying when you were first courting, you were giving compliments, you were telling him what a good job he was doing, how he looked, cologne smelled good, whatever. You say you stop that.
All women always listen. Why are you so late for me? Listen, you better glad I come pick you up. Before, just picking her up was sufficient, but now because you're a couple minutes late, she come at you with the couple minutes late. I mean, just not stroking the ego. See, my man come to pick me up, girl. Oh, look at it. Rather than recognizing his positive, you start complimenting. You started complaining about his negatives, and you could lose a guy because somebody is going to compliment him about his good. And if he is an ego stroking kind of guy that will be picked up by a woman who is willing to do that, guess what? You could lose him or be sharing him because he needs his ego to be stroked.
Chelsea say he's just getting stroked. This one says, sir, you're making a lot of sense. This one says Susie May is what? Is work wife. Oh, they got a work wife.
Yes, work life is real. Empress, let me another to watch it. Men desire adventure. Some women, after they don't commit, they get boring, Empress.
What do you
They
mean?
get boring and no adventure. Hey, let's go to the park and let's do it on the park. Oh, I ain't doing nothing on no park. Let's do it in the car. I ain't doing nothing in no car. Barbara, you gotta do it in the car. Why you can't do it in the car now?
You know what they say when you do it in the car, though, right?
It makes the car don't wake after a while. But here's the
Okay,
deal:
then let's
borrow
make
somebody's car, rent a car or something like that. Get some adventure.
Renicado.
Rent a
Oh,
car.
man.
Okay, next one. Watch this. Men cheat when they don't feel valued. Really, that's at the bare basis of it. Men cheat when they don't feel valued. So here's a couple quick one, Empress. Men cheat for variety. Men cheat for boredom. Men cheat for thrill of the hunt. Okay, dare. That thrill of the hunt. Some men that they have that going on in their head. Some men have an idea when they are, watch it, moral code is being corrupted. In other words, you married a guy who have no value for marriage code. Empress, back in the day, here's the deal. This is the truth. When I was on Soldier Road, when I was growing up as a young buck, okay, one of the street codes were we never talk suggestively about a married woman. About somebody's wife, never. We would never say, oh, just she looked good. Okay, that's it. Never did we say, oh my goodness, John wife, boy, oh, John wife,
I put a hurting on that.
that her, match that right up. If she was, boy, John wife, that was a code, Empress. That was a code. If she's married, we did not. And I watch this. I got to an age in my life, I started seeing fellas turn their head around at a married woman. I'm like, what? Why is she taking? And so the married, watch this. The code for marriage has gone through the window, and so you now see guys who have no codes of conduct. She's married and your head still turning. You corrupt, man. You got a problem with that. I got a problem with that.
Let's take a break. Put you back in the corner. We're going to take a quick break right here. More Free Your Mind on the other side.
Mother knows? That's when it's recycled.
You better let me get something to drink while I at it.
Empress, people still talking about that car thing. I can't believe this.
Yes. Oh, you mean, Mike? That's real? You ain't think that real? That's real.
I used to think it's real too. I don't think it's real no more though.
We'll try it then.
I didn't try that.
That car ain't break down yet. Wait
That ain't real.
Thank you.
That ain't real. That's psychological. That's almost like calling something into existence because that's what you believe.
Because I get them. Uh-huh. Right. Oh, this must be for me then. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh man, coach, they say, look here.
Hey, I'm just trying to help somebody.
Woo, sweet Jesus, you mashing cards today, man. Girl, you need to log on then. Log on. Wherever you is, I hope you have data on your phone. Log on for the last half. My friend in Freeport say, listen, I hollering. Woo! Lord, oh man. Okay.
Empress, I have my nice list for the women though because
I know that. Listen, I know. I can see in your eye.
106.5 FM.
What I discovered about women.
Star 106 hits. Welcome back. It's a Transformation Tuesday, and boy, if your life ain't transformed after this series, then you know what? I think we could hang up our boots after this because this is real talk. This is what's needed, what's necessary. Real life situations, real life conversation. All right. So we're now at what number?
Empress, I'm a little bit above. I'm on my extra now. So this is closing talk stuff. This is, but it's about 3 or 4 that I have that I think is very necessary that I want to add. Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's go in. Here's the deal. Once again, we're talking about why men cheat. And there's a number of different reasons, but let's go through a number of them. Variety. Some men struggle with the whole idea of they have a need for variety, but then they went and got married. And if you have a need for variety, you don't need to get married. But if you got married to a man who don't know how to settle for one woman, you got a problem. There are men who also they don't need boredom. And if they need adventure, they want to explore creative ways to keep the honey in the moon or keep that sparkle in there in the eye. It's just, and a lot of women, especially, I'm going to go back home, Empress, we settle out after we done capture what we have. Male and female do that, but we're talking about women today. Why men cheat? You start not pursuing him and not giving him. So here's the deal. A number of other reasons. Unhappy with their partner. Men cheat because they're unhappy with their partner. You know
so
what?
Leave.
I don't want to leave her because she got 2 kids for me, man.
And
she got
your point.
Hey, my little 2 little you. But ain't nobody else raising my 2 kids, Empress.
See, you do these things. You say these things just to get me riled up.
Ain't
But
nobody
no, the
raising
truth
my
is,
little 2 little youth.
Coach, listen to me and listen to me well. Children, just like you said, babies don't hold no man. Children don't hold no man, don't hold no woman. At the end of the day, if 2 people cannot be together, they must not, and I repeat, stay together for children's sake. All right. I know you're a pastor and you know it's till death do us part, but there are some people that really need to part ways and beg
I
forgiveness after.
hey, I totally agree with you. That's why I had to part ways. Okay. I,
Okay, exactly. You're a pastor. You parted ways, didn't you?
I had to part ways. And so I do get it, but I'm saying there are a lot of people who, you know how many women who say I stand for the children? Do you know how many men are also staying for the children? There are some people that you're bored in the relationship and it's very clear that y'all aren't good for each other, but y'all are tolerating each other and it's hurting y'all more than helping y'all. And then there are others who just public perception. What my family gonna think, what the church people gonna think, and all that stuff. That's a whole nother deal. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Let's go to another one. Empress, watch this. Their partner isn't who they used to be. That's another reason why men
But
cheat.
remember, as the days go by, the 24 hours, the 7 days a week, we can never be the same. Evolution is inevitable. You will, or you
Which
can't be the same person you was 10 years ago.
which is why you have to have a conversation with your
See,
partner
we
and
back to
have
the talking again.
back to talking. So here's the deal. Someone's watching us right now. You're all 220. You're 22 and he's 26, or you're 28 and he's 31. Y'all better start talking because what y'all have right now is going to shift. And there's change that's going to happen through life and a lot of other reasons. And so, Empress, a lot of people, she ain't what she used to be, man. Boss, she ain't gonna never be what she used to be because time has changed both you guys. You ain't who you used to be either. But
Yes, man,
what?
I the same way she meet me. This how I is today, King.
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of guys are holding on to that. But the truth is, we evolve, we grow, and we should change over time. But once again, some people are cheating because he ain't the same or she ain't the same. Here's another one, Empress. She gained weight. Okay? She gained weight. Fellas say, man, that ain't what I married. She's too much. She's too much for me. Okay? Okay? I know what KB say, but that's on
Woo!
KB.
What you say?
Here's what I feel about the situation. She put on too much weight, and I'm not attracted to that. But anyhow, that's my baby mama, and that's my wife. And so, you know, the Bible is against divorce, boss. The Bible against divorce. So I ain't leaving out. But anyhow,
But I
she
carry on my life smartly.
I said. And so a lot of times you're not taking care of yourself in proportion to what your significant other think. I'm not saying putting on weight is a problem, you know. It could
It
be a problem to your
is a problem.
significant other. So now if you have a significant other who has a problem with your weight, you can have someone who is inclined to want to cheat because they don't feel attractive to you anymore.
Okay, so how about, like Kayla says, how about saying, come, sweetie, 5 o'clock this evening, we going around Goodman's Bay 2 times. Let's start with 2 laps.
That requires a healthy relationship that builds around support of both parties being able to know that this is the way we're going to be able to do this. And a lot of times people aren't building their relationship. Do you know that the healthy structure of a relationship, who taught us how to grow as couples? Which
Nobody.
home people grew
Well,
up in?
no. Let me say that. Let me take that back. Some people live like children, as humans do. We live what we learn. We learn what we live. So if you grow up in a family, a nuclear family, where mother and father in the house, and not necessarily because they're together, they exemplify all of the qualities that we need as we grow.
Yeah,
But for the ones that have a healthy relationship, mother and father, some of us learn that from our parents.
yeah, yeah.
Some, not
I
all.
totally agree with you, Empress.
Sure.
I think you mentioned, and we both agree, that if communication would just enrich itself, where there is no off the topic. I just got married, Empress. I'm going on 4 months, 128 days. Okay, okay. I've just got married, and let me tell you something. I made a commitment right off the bat. There is no subject I am not afraid to talk about. There's no subject. I will talk about anything. Now, how I'm going to respond about some of those things, so it may come out. But
Woo!
I'm just saying, I'm having to learn because the truth is, she's a grown woman, I'm a grown man. For us to come together and do phenomenal things and survive these challenging times, we're going to have to talk, man. We're going to talk our way through the significant years that God would want to give us. And so it is what it is. Let's go to another one. Better sex with someone else who understands them. What's this? It's a real thing.
Assignment.
Pardon
Who
me?
understood the assignment?
There are a lot of guys who say, hey, listen, man, oh my goodness. She was before my wife, but my wife never met the needs of her. And so she got skills just so, you know what I mean? It's like soul ties. It's somebody you can't release because who you marry ain't got the skills of who you marry. Who you marry don't have the skills of your soul tie partner that you have access to. That's a lot of reasons why fellas cheat. So yeah, you my life partner, but your skill set. Hey, that's all I'm saying. Okay, last one, Empress.
Oh
Okay,
man.
last one. Watch this. What we talked about this last week, and I know you said why they nag, but I'll tell you this: the Bible says better to sleep on the rooftop
Then in the house.
than in a house with a nagging woman. Really, that's what it boils down to. A lot of women don't realize how damaging the term nagging is to their relationship.
Okay,
Nagging.
let us again. I'm not saying this is always the case, but in a lot of cases, women nag because there are questions that they have, things that, their intuition may lead them to believe that they're trying to get a truthful answer to, right?
Yeah.
They're asking the question, not getting a response or getting the wrong response. Because sometimes when you see a woman ask a question, she doesn't know the answer. Okay.
Empress, you know, some your mama, your cousin, your auntie, your grandmother could have tell you that dude ain't the dude because he ain't well rounded enough to appreciate what you're gonna bring to him as a wife. Some women, okay, I totally agree. Listen, some women they wanted a good man, but they didn't do the initial work to secure a good man. Now they're in the relationship and they're demanding the qualities of a good man to be revealed in a man who is limited. Now, here's the deal, Empress. I am a man who I found myself limited over the years. There were a lot of things. I grew up in a home where my mother never was married. I grew up in a neighborhood or a culture where the reality was I didn't see the example of what a good man was. Then I was married for 18 years, and I would punch anybody in the face if they had told me I had a bad marriage 15 years in. Because I could have swear, I'd have put money down on it. I was the best thing since sliced bread. Okay? But the reality of it is there was more to marriage than what I perceived marriage was, even in the midst when I thought I was all that, Empress.
Hold
So,
on.
so
I just want to make a quick correction to this particular person who is asking why do we always resort to bashing women. I said at the beginning of the show, and maybe that she wasn't here, that we're going to be looking at it from both sides. Today happens to be the side that we're finding out and figuring out why it is that men cheat. So you will hear about the things that women do or don't do, why men cheat. So I just have to throw that in there.
that person could not have been here, Empress, early on because my
No.
number one point was men cheat due to lack of maturity.
Yeah. So
You
she
know?
obviously just came in on the tail end. So I just have to correct that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so Empress, what I'm saying here is we have this desire, but what I'm telling my women friends, make sure you understand. Empress, we talked about this about getting that man in 30 days. The man who will love you oftentimes doesn't come with all of those basic external dynamics that a woman normally wants. He's faithful and he will love you and he will cherish you. He will massage your back. He will rub your toes. Listen, he will deliver flowers on your job and he will be faithful. But he's too short or he has too much weight or he is not a professional. He don't have a degree or he don't drive a nice car. He don't dress up as nice as me. But he will be faithful. He will love you and he will love your children and he will live with you forever, taking care of you when you change as well, because he will value the fact that you're an amazing woman. But what we do is we pursue something that we can solidify that will be 100% best for us. And so what I'm saying to you, don't allow the look on the external to determine your life commitment to a person. That external swagger, that restaurant dinner,
That
that
goes away.
weekend party, that nice pickup in the car, that nice picture on social media and that nice resume that he has from where he works and how much money he makes and who family he's affiliated to. You know how many devils come packaged in a good family? You know, I mean, at the end of the day, he looked good on the front end, but there were major telltale signs that he wasn't good for you because he got cheating dynamics that is unreasonable for someone to work through. Now, there are some men who will cheat. There were some men who got wandering eye issues. You can clean them up if they're mature enough to be called out, have a conversation with, and get the necessary help through a therapist, a counselor, or a pastor to get them to where they belong. But a lot of men aren't prepared to get the help.
Read this one. Why most men don't like to take accountability?
They don't want to take accountability because they feel as though they can get around it. You know?
This is also what more you want, but you won't be picky. All right. So, okay. So, no. My response is not to be taken as an attack to either of you. I'm speaking generally as the response. Nagging women seems to be always a response by immature men who seek power and control.
I believe that that's a reality. I think that's a reality in a lot of cases.
And like I told you, when women nag, not all again, some, maybe even most, is because they pretty much already know the answer to the question they're posing. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's a matter of a confession. Where were you? I was by my boy. This time she have the picture of him coming out the woman apartment. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where were you? And you saying, boy, I was by Jeremy then, boy. No.
Yeah.
So she's gonna keep asking until.
Yeah, well, some fellas will be like, "Why you asking me where was I?" Well, it's a full blown man. Why you asking me where? Well, don't be asking me where I is. But you better stop. Leave me alone, girl. Give me the remote. Where the remote? You see that? Because just I don't even want to answer you
But
if I
that's
think
expensive. That right there cause a woman to come back at you, and that's where the nagging comes in.
that's why I'm not in total disagreement with that whole statement. I'm just saying that nagging is one of the characteristics.
Yes, but a lot of men have to come to the realization that they cause some women to be that nagging woman that they don't like.
I totally agree. That's why at 46 years old, I am a 46-year-old Bahamian born man who had to learn how to break my beliefs and behaviors and move to a higher level to say it's not nagging, it's inquiring. Okay? And if I'm honest and truthful in all that I do, I shouldn't have no problem answering the questions that is coming to me. Okay? And so that's where it's at for me, and that's what I'm trying to teach and encourage my brothers. And so I'm not bashing women. I'm encouraging men to get their act together, and I'm highlighting to women what is oftentimes some of the reality of if you're dealing with a man who hasn't been raised to be asked questions. You know, he was raised in a home where woman don't ask me no question. Woman don't ask me no question. And I's the man around here.
Right.
Always nagging. So the boy grew up calling it nagging as well. And so I don't push the whole term she's nagging anymore. I push the term, hey, be open. And yeah, I know Empress, yeah, you've been going long, right? See, here's the deal. I still have street creds, Empress. Let me tell you something. Anywhere I show up, they still know. Listen, it is what it is. All I know is you can decide to change. And that's why I love these Tuesday conversations, because I believe it is helping to bring to the forefront. Because I think there are people going back and watching this and say, let me get with my boo. Let me get with my significant other and try to elevate our level of conversation. Okay, I know he probably don't like my weight, but let me see if he'll go walk with me. I know he don't like me nagging, so let me change my approach of how I ask him questions. Okay, I know he has a sexual drive bigger than I can meet the demands of. Let me talk to him about maybe looking into that because, hey, listen, you wanted this much and we've been married 10 years and you still wanting it every day. We may need to look into that because it's starting to wear on me. I got 3 kids and 2 jobs and you still trying to want it every day. And I can't go to my 2 jobs and take care of these 3 kids and be worrying about you cheating. Okay, because that ain't right, man. It ain't right. So here's what we're going to need to do. Get you some pills to suppress that bad boy. We're going to need you to And Empress, it's possible to get help, or you going or the woman is going to tolerate.
Now the
She said
next
must.
question is, and we can write this one
She
down
said must be a rabbit.
for further date. Where in reference to the nagging woman, right? That is asking for the truth on the questions that she poses. Another question simply is, can we handle the truth?
Can we handle the truth? Empress, that's a talk all by itself.
I know, I know, I know this.
Because
And
I
can
know I
write it
struggle
down.
with that, Empress.
Let's read this one real quick before we leave. Words are powerful, so we must be careful in our how we respond to each other. I would recommend rather than use nag, we can use a positive connotation in response to a woman or man who continuously repeat a need or want. So, Coach has labeled it um, inquiring. Yes,
Yes.
inquiring minds want to know. Yeah, that's it.
That's what I've shifted in my situation. I am okay with my woman inquiring about anything. It's not nagging. And so you're correct. We're moving into that direction, helping people to adjust some of this stuff.
All right, Coach. Well, um, I'm trying to read some of these things so quickly. I'll give her a little something, something she won't nag for a while. Man, look like Coach will be here all year. Yes, folks, we've come to the end. It's like the soap operas, man. Y'all have to wait till next
They
Tuesday.
they want more on this same topic, but we got to go to the women because some people think it's one sided, and I'm not trying to be one sided.
All right, so we may have to dive in a little bit to the other side just for, to level the playing field some. So, folks, thank you so much as always. Another Transformation Tuesday. Hope it was help to someone's. And we look forward to next Tuesday once again with Coach Ricardo Miller of Effective Living. And it's effective living for a reason, correct?
Yep, it is effective because there's a right and wrong way to live.
All right, communication is key, says Siobhan. She says that having uncomfortable conversations are healthy. Kayla says, I'll inquire now, Empress. I stopped nagging. Listen to me, folks. Stop at hour 5 o'clock. You're driving 5. Kayla, I can need you to don't do it.
Once you first crossed eyes.
Kayla, see you there? Sis, see you there? Listen to me. I'm not nagging. I'm inquiring. Yes, big boy. That's how we can drop it now, Coach. I'm inquiring. But you remember the National Enquirer? It's their slogan was "Inquiring minds want to know." That's
Inquiring minds want to know.
the National Enquirer where we are.
Yeah.
Week. Oh, guys, you guys have been great. I'll inquire now, Empress. I stop nagging. Oh, Lord. Guys, see y'all. Like I said, it's going to get even more interesting, I think, next year when we flip the script. I mean, next week when we flip the script. Yeah. So y'all stay tuned for that. It's going to be.
I'm ready for it.
It's going to be
excited.
Wild. All right, so.
All right. Excellent.
Yeah, man.
All right.